Hello guys, and welcome back to another one of my videos. I'm super excited for this one because this is going to teach you so much. This is going to teach you how to create your own portfolio so you can get into a design school or maybe apply for a job. But this is going to be like the 10 key things that you need to know. Okay guys, so last week I gave you a tour of one of the top design schools in the world, SCAD in Atlanta, and it was super cool. I was able to talk to students, show you the school, show you the work they've done. It was a really nice trip. And next week I'll be going to LA and I'll be at the LA Auto Show, and I'm also gonna pay a visit to Art Center College of Design, which is the top car design school in the world. So that'll be super exciting. So stay tuned for that one. So I suggest you go ahead right now and click that subscribe button so I can see you on a weekly basis and I can keep giving you tips on how to become a better designer. So a lot of design schools and studios will actually ask you to get a portfolio so they can see the work that you've done in the past and what you're capable of doing, what's your design level. So it's very important to start creating one as soon as possible. You should start like today. The earlier you start building one, the easier it's going to be to keep adding to it, and also just have a plan in mind of what you're doing so you can keep adding to that portfolio. In Atlanta, I was lucky to be able to see some of the student portfolios and give them some reviews. And also, I remember doing my own portfolio. So I'll give you the top 10 things you need to know. I was able to find one of my old portfolios. So I'll show you a little bit about it and talk a little bit about it. So let's get started. So number one is love at first sight, is the first impression, right? So if they're gonna open and review your portfolio, the first thing that they see coming from you better not look like this. Better not look like just a bunch of unorganized paper, random on an ugly folder, right? So you have to make sure that you have something more solid, something that is designed, something that looks like you actually care and looks more professional, right? Better organized. So you can either be one of these portfolios that you can buy. It's like an art portfolio. They have it at all the major art stores. Or you can have it bound, or you can have it like professionally made. But just make sure that the first thing that they see coming from you is very professionally presented. So the second tip I'm gonna give you is you don't want to submit like just a ginormous stack of papers and stuff that they don't know what's in there. They don't have the time to go through all of it. And also, they also have another 100 portfolios to review after yours. So if they see like this huge stack of paper, they're gonna lose interest and they're just gonna fly through your portfolio and just get it over as quick as possible. So if you have a very simple table of contents that says, hey, I only have this 4 projects, make sure you look through them and you pay attention to them. It's only 4 projects, it's listed right up front, so I know what to expect. And I also know that if I'm looking through 4 projects, I'm gonna spend my time looking at the projects. If I see the table of contents that has like 100 projects, then I'm gonna fly through them. I'm not even gonna pay attention. So make sure you keep it nice and simple and organized. Step number 3 would be your personal information. Make sure that your name is spelled correctly, that your phone number is there, and that your email is there and it's correct. Because you don't want to have a great portfolio that you just happen to misspell your email and they don't have a way to reach back to you. Tip number 4, make sure that you have projects, full on projects. You don't want to grab like your drawings from when you were a kid and the drawings that you made for your grandma and all this like collection of little sketches that you started doing randomly and just pile them up into a big pile and have them not make any sense. It's super important that you show them your design process. So you have to have a project where you say, hey, I'm going to design a new camera. So you can put like on the first page, who's your user? What is this camera used for? On the second page, you can have like a lot of sketches of your like ideation sketches of your camera. Then you can have your refined sketches, then your final direction of what was the final design that you chose from all your ideation sketches. And finally, you can have like a really cool sketch of the camera that you designed or the scooter or whatever you're working on, but make sure you give them full projects, not just random pieces of paper all together. So you don't want to flip through one page of cameras and the next one is scooters and the next one is cars and the next one is medical equipment. And it's just so random that I would lose interest if I'm going through your portfolio. same as the point I made before, I'm going to be reviewing a lot of portfolios if I'm the portfolio guy in a university. So I don't want to open a portfolio that has a page that is just full on text, like a newspaper, and I have to read through all of that to get to the information. So it's very important that you have your sketches, your key parts of your sketch, like with arrows and indications and stuff like that. And then you can have a bottom section that is kind of separate where you can have like a lot of text, but it says read only if you're interested, like or like more information below, but it's not key for me to understand your product if I don't read that information. I can be able to just see your information, understand that your machine is something for medical equipment for the heart rate, and then I don't have to read that whole paragraph because I don't have time. I have a lot of things to do. I have other portfolios to check, so make sure you get to me fast. So my tip number 6 would be for you to understand that you're not there to explain things. Like when they're trying to understand something, they can think that this is a time machine and it's actually a camera. And you're not there to tell them, no, it's not a time machine, it's a camera. You are not there. So it's very important that you make it foolproof. That when they open that portfolio piece, it says coffee machine and it's making coffees and you have a coffee mug and stuff like that. And it's really obvious that it's a coffee mug and you have a sign that says coffee mug and you have arrows pointing like the coffee goes inside the mug. Like all those things will make it so much simpler because you're not there. So just make sure that you're gonna explain this to like a little kid that doesn't understand anything. Make it as obvious as you can. Tip number 7, we get connected to our sketches, to our work. Sometimes we draw this little sketch long time ago and it was just a beautiful day or it was a happy day or you just have happy memories of that sketch and you want to include that sketch in your portfolio because you have such a beautiful connection with it, but it is an ugly sketch. Don't do it. You're going to be judged by your worst sketch. So make sure you submit your best work. That's another way to make your portfolio slimmer. You don't want to throw like 100 sketches in there. You want to throw a few and your top ones and something that will keep the person that is reviewing your portfolio interested. They're going to judge you by your worst sketch. So if your quality is not excellent, like on those examples that I'm setting, but make sure that that quality stays there. And the better you get, just make sure that you stay on that quality and don't go back to your ugly sketches that are going to be there. Make sure you just take out as much as you can and keep it simple. When you show a whole project, it's very important that you show your whole thinking process. They want to see how when you were doing a scooter, you thought about doing a scooter that had 2 wheels, you had a scooter that had 4 wheels, you had a scooter that instead of wheels had a tread, you had a scooter that had like skis. They want to see all your different thinkings. Even if something was like completely ridiculous idea, you want to show all those ideation sketches to show that when you're starting to design a project, you're not just like one direction and that's it. They want to see how you can go into different directions, present different ideas, and then you can start choosing and refining the next idea and the next idea until you get this final product that is the best solution for that design that you were doing, but that you were actually looking everywhere, left field, right field, and you had at the end the most useful idea, the best design that you had, but they want to see that process. So they don't want to see just like, well, this is the design of the scooter and this is my final, and just you never show them how you got there. You just have like an amazing, beautiful scooter right there, but if you don't show how you got there, it's not that interesting. When you're making your portfolio, when you're making your resume, when you're making your project presentation, make sure it looks like it was done by a designer. So if you're a lawyer, if you're a doctor, you will have this beautifully, perfectly laid out, not beautiful because it's just going to be boring, but you'll have this boring information all aligned, all perfectly typed, no spelling errors, everything, but it's just going to be boring. And that's fine if what you're doing is a doctor, if you're a lawyer, but if you're a designer, it better look like it was done by a designer. You better have some color, you better have some different idea, something that looks different from every regular resume that is out there. So make sure your CV looks like it was made by a designer. And same thing with your portfolio and your portfolio layout. You have to look at this table of content and this compared to this table of contents, and it's a huge difference, and you have to live in that world. You're a designer, you have to capture people's imagination with just your designs. So one more thing to mention would be branding. Branding is super important because it's what is going to tie up all your portfolio together. When you see some of the big companies, everything kind of matches the same type, the same color. So that creates a brand. Like you see McDonald's, you recognize like all their colors and their fonts, and Starbucks, you know it's Starbucks. Whatever you look, you recognize it at Starbucks. So with your portfolio, it's important that it has some kind of like identity to it. So make sure that even all across your portfolio, the graphics match, the colors match, the type of fonts that you use match. And you can have a little distinction between projects maybe. So you can have a project where the whole like color scheme of it is green, and then the next color scheme for the next project is red and stuff like that. You can change it a little bit, but the overall tying the portfolio together should match and work together. And here's some examples of branding. So you have here where you have all the colors working together, and also here's another example, and you can see how you can match it all the way from the business card, your resume, the graphics on the portfolio. Everything that it's in there should work together. You have to show all your different skills. So if you're a great sketch artist, make sure you show that, but also show them that you can do some graphics on the computer, show them that you can do a 3D modeling, whatever skills you have that are important and relevant to design, make sure you show them. If you can do some clay modeling, if you've done some sculptures in the past, if you can just build out of paper stuff, make sure you add as much skills. I was in school with a lot of students that already had design experience and they knew everything about manufacturing and making molds. Make sure you add that to your portfolio so you have an advantage over the other people that doesn't have those skills. So you can have this section that is called just various or random or whatever you want to call it, and that will show a little bit of your other techniques, other work that you have that is not necessarily a full project, but you can show a little bit of yourself without being overwhelming of just a bunch of random stuff. So I didn't have time to generate all the content. So if you see any of your work here, I use it for educational purposes only. I'm not taking credit for it. I want to show this as a portfolio creating video and not about the work that is displayed in here. So if you see some of your work and you want me to take it down or display it, just let me know. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll have another video coming next week and the week after, because I said it was next week, but it's the week after that one. That'll be at the LA Auto Show, and I'll also be visiting Art Center College of Design. So see you guys next week, and thank you for watching.